Yo, what's up, babies? Oh, I forgot my camera again. Oh, dang it. I do that every time. I get everything so perfectly set up, and then I forget my camera. Deprive you of my beautiful visage. Hold on, there it is. Oh, there we go. Hi, I'm Fireboy. This is my channel. Happy Tuesday indeed. Let's get rolling. Glad to see you here. Happy Tuesday indeed. It is a beautiful sunny Tuesday here. So, what better day? What better day to spend sitting in front of a screen than a day when it's beautiful and warm for the first time in like 3 weeks? No, it's good. It's good. Everything's good here. It's still a little chilly out, so I'm happy to be inside right now. And then this afternoon is when I'm getting out and enjoying that sunshine. Gonna go out and do my afternoon workout outside today. But until then, we're gonna get a little bit of writing done here. Still chugging the water. Let me tell you. This whole weight cut water flood thing, where you just like flood your system with water to kick those kidneys into high gear, it is amazingly effective at getting you to just like naturally lose water weight. It sounds counterintuitive, but you naturally lose plenty of water weight while still feeling hydrated, because your body's just like, wow, we've got way too much of this, let's just flood it all out. So you just keep going. And despite the fact that I'm drinking like 2 gallons of water a day, my weight has gone down by like a pound in the past day. It's an amazing thing. But the other thing I will say about it is not great if you want your tum-tum to not feel like a pool. Because like I can, every time I take a drink, I can just like feel it splashing like inside of me. It's so creepy and it's so not fun. It's like I can feel my stomach acid neutralizing because of all of the water. I'm becoming basic inside, and it's weird. Like being very pregnant. You know what? I'll have to take your word for it. That's just not an experience I have any practical experience feeling, and yeah, man. Like I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm glad I won't ever have to experience that, because it, like, you know, people talk about the wonders and the miracles of it, but, you know, and I'm sure having children is an amazing thing, but the process just seems brutal. And I don't know how women handle it, because no interest. Kudos, round of applause all the way around. If the closest I ever come is the discomfort of drinking too much water, then like, boy oh boy, I am supremely lucky. But yeah, it's been an adventure the past 24 hours. Oh, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. That's the vibe I get from my sister. She's got 2 kids, and the vibe I get from her, she's like, I do not regret it. I will never ever do it again. She has her 2 kids. It's plenty. That's plenty, Lady Ishka. Glad to see you here. Happy to have you listening in. Yeah, no, it's an amazing thing. And I am so eternally grateful, in particular, that one woman was willing to have a baby, because that's how I came to be. But it's a marvel to me that, with the understanding of all that a woman has to go through for like child growth and birth, that it's a miracle to me, and it is amazing to me that we survive it all, because I wouldn't. Like, it's like, you know, it's always the people are always like, men couldn't. It's like, well, I mean, if biologically, if we had to, we'd find a way to do it. But if it were always a choice, then like, no, I would never choose. No, I'm good. I'll teach the beginners and like the middle and high school kids at my kickboxing gym, and call that enough parenting. No, it's an incredible thing. And yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. It's a bit of a rant, you know, speech over, I guess. But moral of the story is, the moral of the story here, people, is if you can avoid it, don't drink too much water. Just only drink enough to stay hydrated. And that's how we got to talking about childbirth. It's an amazing thing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I say that all the time. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. There's that, and like the other one that I like is the head coach at our gym. He'll go on a rant about something, and then he'll just kind of look, he's like, okay, speech over, go home now. and that's usually how he ends class. He ends class by saying, like, by talking about something. Like, if we got a tournament coming up, he kind of gives everyone the spiel about that, and then he just kind of looks around. He's like, okay, speech over. Go home. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Man says what he needs to say and then cuts it off. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Oh boy, I'm in a good mood today. I'm actually in a really good mood today because despite all of this stress and the difficulties of getting ready for a fight this weekend, today is going to be nice. Coach's orders, actually, head coach gave me the advice. Today we are skipping the intense gym workout. I'm not going to go and hit pads for an hour or hit a bag or anything like that. Instead, he told me it's a sunny day. Today's the day to skip class and relax. So tonight is going to be awesome. We're just going to go do like a light jog, maybe do like open up with three rounds of sprints and then a light jog. And then it's just sitting around and relaxing. This is like the most relaxing day. This is going to be the most relaxing evening I've had in a month. And there's something extra wonderful about the fact that it gets to come. It's not even that it gets to, it's that it's encouraged to come when I'm less than a week away from my fight. So I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a really good mood today. That, and because my weight cut is going so well, I really don't have to stress about my meals. Like, I have to stick with the diet, but I'm not stressing about my meals. In fact, I'm at the point where it's like, if I'm just really feeling snacky and I want a little extra something, I bought myself some extra bananas. I can go ahead and slam down a banana after dinner that's outside of the prescribed diet, and it's going to be okay. So I'm in a good mood today. Might hit the sack. And that was me this morning. I woke up this morning and I had a hard time getting myself ready for this morning's sprints. I was wanting to immediately fall asleep on the couch. I do that sometimes on the weekend. I get up, feed the cat, pour myself a cup of coffee, and promptly ignore the coffee as I fall asleep on the couch for another hour. And those are beautiful mornings. I'm excited to do that after this fight too. There's a lot of things I'm excited about. I'm like, the fight is whatever to me now. My thoughts on the fight are like, yeah, if it goes really well, then great, that's cool. Or if I get knocked out, well, that sucks, but I'll be okay. Whatever. The fight is so neither here nor there to me at this point in time. Right now, the motivator is like, yes, but after the fight, we get to eat. We get to skip every workout if we want to. I actually have a work conference scheduled for the week after, so I get to go and have work cover most of my meals, and they're not covering the hotel, but there's a real good group rate for us, at this conference. So I get to go have a couple of days where I don't have to work and instead just get to listen to other people talk, or not listen if that's what I feel like doing. Just sit in the back. It's great. So I'm in a good mood thinking about everything coming up. Hey, John, how's it going? Good to see you here. Oh boy, yeah, I'm in a good mood. Despite the fact that it's gonna be a little bit shorter of a time streaming today. I do have a work meeting. I have to get there, and I have to earn all this stuff. And work as well as the fight are gonna make sure I earn it this week, because I have a whole mess of meetings scheduled this week. So I gotta end a little early today. But it'll be good. Honestly, the thing with diets is I've kind of learned that you gotta, believe it or not, I do have to pay the bills. Now, the thing with diets is, like, I think it's inevitable that there's going to be times when you just, like, slack off, right? And, like, I was there actually right before I got myself signed up for this fight. I was at a stagnant point. I had hit a plateau with my diet, and then I got my rear kicked into gear to get it to get myself going. But I've found that dieting works best if you give yourself some leeway to every once in a while. Just like back off the diet and maintain weight for a little while, and then you can get back to it. And I know for me, my body just naturally does that anyway. Like I'm going through this period of losing a bunch of weight, which is great and necessary for my fight. But the fact is, if I were just flat out trying to lose weight, like what always happens to me is I'll see a phase where about anywhere between 5 and 10 pounds will just like melt off. And then I plateau and I stick for like 2 months, 3 months, and it's frustrating as hell. And then something will happen that will kick it back into gear. I'll reach a new level of motivation for the diet or something, and then like, 5 to 10 more will melt off. And so, I lucked out in that I was kind of in that plateau right before getting ready for the fight, so that my body was primed for losing right after. But it definitely happens, and I don't know about you, but I know for me that can be really disheartening, really frustrating if you feel like you're trying really hard to lose weight. That can be frustrating. And then the flip side of it is too, I get frustrated with myself if I'm just sort of naturally, just because of how stress or something like that is impacting my life. There'll just be times when I'm not as dedicated to the diet, and like in retrospect, when I look back, I'll get so frustrated with myself and be like, oh, I could have done better, I could have eaten less, I could have eaten something different. But the fact is like, I'm slowly learning over the years to just give myself a break on that. And it's like, humans go through periods, and it's okay for you to have a period of just being stagnant in your weight. Like that just happens. It's totally normal. Just make sure that your goals are long-term and achievable, and eventually you'll get there. So, diet is something near and dear to my heart because it's something I've been living for like the past 2 years. Oh yeah. Definitely just the luck of the genetic draw with metabolism can be a huge factor in losing weight and handling all these things. And I would say actually in general, I am not super duper lucky with that. I spent a lot of time being overweight in my life, both as a kid and then again during like grad school period of my life. I spent a lot of time being very overweight just because for me, unless I'm actively working on my diet, my body just tends to retain weight. Like it's great if I get stuck in the woods because my body knows how to just retain calories and energy. It's awesome for that scenario. But when you're living a modern day world where it just means that you slowly pack on the pounds as you sit at a desk, it's frustrating. Cause there's no doubt about it. Genetic lottery has a big thing to do with it. The part of the genetic lottery that I won is that my body in general is extremely functional. Like I don't have joint issues. I don't have, stomach issues. I don't get consistent migraines or anything like that. I used to as a kid, but not so much anymore. So when I put my mind to it, when the mental side of things are there, my body is ready to do whatever work I make it do. So that's why that's where I get really lucky. That's where I get really lucky, and that's why I like training for this fight in general has gone really well because I just have not been injured and I haven't had to worry about it. And that's a really fortunate thing for me. Nice. Physical therapy and physical training. I've been thinking about that more and more these days with all the coaching that I do. It's an awesome career. And for me, like it's for me, I really like to see other people succeed. Like that's one of the reasons also why this fight coming up for me is so meh. Because it's like, it's my own thing. And I'm like, I'm some scrub. Like I've got my personal reasons for doing this and I'm glad for it. But in terms of actual competition, I don't really care. Like this is more about proving that I'm willing to step up and handle a situation like this. But like really what I'm motivated to do is be a coach and help other people achieve what they want to achieve. So I've thought about doing like physical therapy type stuff, or being a personal trainer to just like help people reach those goals. Because that's, I don't know, that's meaningful to me. That's meaningful to me. Everyone's got their own jam in life, but for me, that's something that means something. Because like a lot of improvements in my life have come from having, from having people in my life that did that for me, that took the time to help me succeed. And so I want to keep giving that back. She won't let you fight. Honestly, that's the smart choice. That's the smart choice. I'm not sitting here pretending like entering combat intentionally is the smart thing to do. It's we actually talk about that a lot at our gym. We're like, if you don't want to compete, if you're just looking for a sport to like stay active a little bit, and you're not actually really invested in martial arts, this is a really stupid sport to do. It requires damaging yourself to a certain degree. Even just the training, like your limbs and body will definitely take some hits, and even in sparring when you go light, occasionally you're gonna get hit. It's not an intelligent sport, but it's a fun one. It's a real fun one, that's for sure. Oof, that's brutal. That's brutal. Like, yeah, that's another genetic lottery that I wouldn't call it genetic lottery. That's another life lottery I won. I have had a very supportive family in my life. At the very least, always well-intentioning. Sometimes, people miss the mark. Everyone does. But I've been very lucky about that, and it's something that I've grown to appreciate more and more in life as I meet other people and have other friends who just don't have the same support system. Like I've come to really appreciate how amazing my support system is, and again, that's why I really want to like provide that for other people, because I know not everyone is born into a good support system, and it's something that speaks to me. And so one of these days, I wanna get there and do that. I gotta pay off student loans first, but one of these days I'm gonna get there. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen. I wanna make it happen. Which graduated to training. Massage therapy license now works on NFL players. That's awesome. That's rad. That's just cool. Not only is that motivating, but that's just really cool. That's a cool job. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I would love to be able to be like a personal trainer at my kickboxing gym. So we have like an actual like personal trainer, massage therapist, or something like that to like add those skills to our gym, because we've got coaching really well taken care of. Honestly, we have really good coaches at our gym. But if I could just be like, if I could get myself up in the next like 5 or 10 years to be like a physical therapist type of role there to help with that kind of stuff, like I think that would really round out our gym really well for the people that want to be competitive. So that's a really cool story to think about. That just anyone, if you work with it, you can just end up with these cool jobs. Like these cool jobs do exist. You just have to, you have to scope them out and you have to go for it. That's super rad. Ooh, getting sucker punched is lame. Getting sucker punched is lame. That's dirty. That's real dirty. I've never been sucker punched before. I've had like, just through training, I've had like my nose broken before. I've definitely been flash knocked out before just from sparring and stuff like that, but I've never been sucker punched. Like that's a hard one. When you don't have the chance to brace for it, it hits harder. It hits harder all the time. That sucks. Oh, nice. Recovering from accidents and stuff. That's again, it's like in the same vein. Like that's a really cool thing to want to help people sort of pick back up in those types of situations. I know it's people like that help my ma a whole lot after all of her surgeries for, cause my ma's in remission these days, but she had breast cancer. And so she had a lot of surgeries for that. And so there were a lot of physical therapists that really helped her, because like the surgeries, the mastectomies like really kind of jacked up her arm for a little while too. The way the surgery went. And so having physical therapists was like such an important thing for her. And she's like back to 100% normal, sans a couple boobs. Like this, yeah, my mom's living a completely normal life again, and it's because of really awesome people, including the recovery teams that helped her out. So no, that's an awesome goal. That's an awesome goal. What a cool conversation to open things up with. This is awesome. But that said, maybe I ought to do some writing, since that's what I'm advertising. Everyone's gonna get mad at me. They're like, I came here for free streams about D&D, and all I got was some inspirational TED talk talking about trying to help others. I want my $0 back. Oh boy. So today I was thinking that I would just spend a little extra time, just because it's going to be a little bit shorter because I have work meetings and stuff. I was going to spend a little time just continuing where we left off yesterday with our campaign, just working on the actual campaign project. Normally on Tuesdays, I like to work on lore a little bit, but as it stands right now, I'm actually pretty comfortable with the lore that we have surrounding our city. There's a couple things that I might want to go back and build upon in this city when we get to the other maps, when we have like our mansion and we have our temple that our players are going to go to when they're looking for stuff. I might want to expand on those a little bit, but I kind of want to save those for when we actually get there, so that way I'm not like muddling my brain and stuff like that. So I think that's what so we're going to just work on the campaign a little bit more today, and we'll save lore for another day. It'll be good. That's right. We got our inspiration point. Heck yeah. Everyone gets inspiration today. Everyone gets inspiration. God, wouldn't that be awesome if I could like do that for my fight? Just do something really cool and get an inspiration point right before the fight, so that way if I throw a punch and it misses, I can like re-roll it. Like, just, like, rewind time and rethrow it and hope that it goes a little bit better. That'd be rad. That'd be real rad. I wish life worked like that. If I had a superpower, it would be time manipulation. Because you can make anything happen. You can make anything happen if you can control time. Namely, what I'd want to do is be able to pause time and move around within paused time. Because then anything menial, well, really just anything at all that doesn't require another person, I would just pause time for. I would have like 15 jobs to be rolling in the dough because I could just pause time, right? And I would never, and no one else would ever think that I had to sleep because I would just pause time and sleep while it was paused, right? And it's like I would have infinite time to play every video game because I could just pause time and play it. Like pausing time, that's what I'd be able to do. I don't even need to be able to go forward and backward in it. Just be able to pause time. That's all I would do. That would be my superpower. Be a great one. Do micro pauses in the middle of a fight and like pick the guy apart. Would that count as cheating, or would that be me using my natural talents? Well, it depends on if I was born a superhero or if I was like a lab experiment that became a superhero. Kind of like at the end of Incredibles, right? When Dash was entering the sprinting competitions, right? And they had him go for second because it was like, you know, he should be able to use his gifts, but like it's also an unfair advantage because of like just how like he was born a super and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Let's make a battle. Actually, you know what I want to do first? I want to pull up our map here. Nice. Yeah, like I mean, sticking with the physical therapy stuff, like I say, it just I don't it's hard for me to think about if that would be a good fit for me personally, but I'm so grateful for the people that do stuff like that because I actually had physical therapy when I was in high school. I had severe back issues from marching band because I was in the drum line, so I had to carry these big heavy drums, and that was back when I was in high school and I was like 220 pounds of just pure flab. Like I didn't do any sports or anything like that. I was just super unfit and unhealthy. So carrying those drums was destroying my back. And I had a physical therapist that taught me stuff that she taught me tricks that I still use today that help me with my back in case I ever have any recurring issues. Like physical therapists are I don't want to say completely unsung because most people who've experienced them really recognize the value of physical therapists, but they do a bigger service than they get credit for, I think, in a lot of ways. It's such a necessary thing. I feel like that's part of why it doesn't always get recognized too, is because a lot of people don't see it as being like people don't think about it as like necessary in a lot of ways. It's one of those things where people who aren't actively needing it will a lot of times, often unintentionally, but sort of downplay the importance of it. I feel like, and maybe that's just in my own personal experience, but I think that's too bad. It's kind of like, it kind of falls by in the same group as like, I feel like mental health things where it's like people kind of get it, but they also don't. And so it kind of falls by the wayside, and like and it just doesn't quite get the attention and the utilization that it should. So I think a lot of people could benefit from just like some basic physical therapy every now and then to help with things like back issues or joint issues or whatever. So, oh man, 55 and needing some sun. That's where I'm going to be this afternoon. It's supposed to get up to 65 around here this afternoon. I might, for the first time in a month, actually be warm without a big giant sweatshirt on this afternoon. God, I do it. Go enjoy that sun, for goodness sakes. For goodness sakes, get out there. Don't sit around listening to my goofy ass. Go enjoy that sun. Get that vitamin D. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I feel that. So, okay, so this is the area we're working on. And we've got a few more rooms to kind of fill out for this part of it. And then eventually I'm going to have to figure out how I want to fill in the other rooms that our players are going to be interacting with. I'll have to figure all of this stuff out in some way, shape, or form. But for now, let's just finish this map because our players are going to be coming back here again, but the map's going to have changed and been reformed a little bit. But we'll get there. We'll get there one thing at a time. I think let's just finish. I don't know if we'll finish it today because we've got a shorter time, as it is. But we can try. We can certainly try. I don't know. My track record of staying on task suggests that it is a losing battle, but it's a battle that we will undertake anyway, and it freaked out on me. I hate when it does. Okay, we need a medium battle. Have we done a medium battle in this map? I don't think we have. We have not. So we can kind of be free to choose whatever composition we want for this. Medium battle is going to be a 350 experience points worth of fight. Real easy for our players. We can do like 3 of these and 1 of these. We could do 3 of these and 2 of these. There's a lot of different ways we can break this up. We could do just a whole giant pile of baby rhinos, and that would be an excellent one. This is big old pile, big old cluster of baby rhinos, and then it's just the usual presentation to the players like, aha, you thought you were gonna have a fun time just killing a bunch of animals, but now if they're baby animals, are you willing to hunt them? Is that how you want to be remembered? Your adventurer's legacy, that of the unceremonious poachers. I get very adversarial with my players for absolutely no reason. For absolutely no reason. Although I will say, so last night we had our session. Sorry, I'm fussing with my work phone a little bit here. We had our session with my group that I do DM for, and we're running a campaign. It's a different campaign than the one we do right here. But I was very pleased. That I managed to successfully invoke a lot of confusion, and confusion isn't the right word, like conflicting emotions among my players, because they encountered a couple different factions, and it's unclear to them at this point which one is necessarily right or wrong given the scenario that they're in. And the reason that I'm really happy about it is because I can feel them. Ooh, confuzzlement is a really good term for it. They're confuzzled. They're very confuzzled about everything. I like that. And I like, the thing that makes me really happy that it's working out is I can see them already after just one session inside of this forest that they're adventuring in. They're feeling they're starting to feel very invested with what's going on in this forest, even though ultimately what's going on in this forest really has nothing to do with what they're doing. Like, what they're trying to achieve in this forest is find an object that was just sort of hidden there by someone who is completely unrelated to the various like conflicts and politics of this forest that are going on. But they've kind of just been by wandering into this forest, been sort of shoved into this conflict, and I'm really pleased that they're starting to feel invested in this, despite the fact that it's not actively something they're working on. So I don't know. It's basically the point here is I'm awesome, and everyone needs to get on my. No, I'm just kidding. The moral of the story is it's really fun giving players conflicting, challenging scenarios, because especially when you've got a good group, it's so much fun to see them getting invested in those challenges and trying to make sense of it and trying to understand what their character's role in all of it is. Especially when their character's role is basically just up to them and how they play their character, because there's no inherent, this is what you're doing, you have to do this type of situation going on. So it's good times. It's good times. Sorry, hold on a second. There we go. My apologies. My in-ear monitors were acting up for some reason. So yeah, so with that in mind, I'm gonna feel free to go ahead and give our players all kinds of issues with baby rhinos, and let them decide exactly what kind of adventurers they want to be. In fact, I'm thinking more and more I should be giving them baby combatants to deal with. Maybe just a literal army of babies one of these days. It's like, yes, it's a baby. Not a giant baby, not a cursed baby, not a demon baby. It's just a baby. It's just a baby. And it is blocking you from reaching your goal. How do you handle the situation? It's not actually a really good battle, because they would probably just move the baby. I mean, that's what I would do, and I don't even particularly like kids. I would just move the baby. It seems like there's not much of a moral quandary there. If anything, actually, it would probably be better to move the baby, because there's an unattended baby in front of a dangerous situation where a bunch of like high-level adventurers are trying to get there. That baby doesn't belong there. That baby should be moved. That baby shouldn't be there. That's a lot of danger for the baby. So really, we've just given our players a chance to be heroes. Damn it. Ugh, I gotta try harder. Give them more difficult things. I'm gonna go ahead and put, so we have 350 experience points worth of battle to make a medium battle, challenge battle here. I'm gonna give the 2 of the giant goat versions of the rhinos, and then just give them 6 baby rhinos, and let them just make sense of that one how they want. We'll have. Here's what we'll do. I have an idea. This is something that I may not actually end up ever reading out loud to my players, but it would be a really good chance for some levity here of our players. So we don't want the players to... We want it to be unclear whether or not they should save the baby. That's what we want. We want it to be unclear whether or not saving the babies is the right choice. That is the proper way to really just do anything. We want the right or wrong to be unclear. Because the fun thing about that too is if it's unclear, then you can really just flavor it after they make the decision as being the quote unquote right or wrong, depending on how bad you want them to feel about themselves. Gosh, I sound like such an asshole to my players. I swear I'm not actually this adversarial when I'm playing with them. I just like to... It's like if I am a big dickhead when I'm creating scenarios here and writing it, that way when my emotional be nice to my friends side takes over, it's like balanced by the amount of dickishness I'm putting into the writing. So that way it turns into just like a normal level of challenge and emotional eventing, emotional stuff in a game. It's a very horny. All of my games are horny, and you can interpret that in any way you want, and it's probably correct. No, that's not true at all. I don't do sexy roleplay. I don't do that. You have to pay me money for that one. Like I would, but like my talents, some talents require compensation to grace this world, and my ability to weave a horny tale is one that requires compensation. You guys didn't realize, but by clicking on my stream, because of how horny this thing is, because of the rhino horns, you didn't realize that just clicking play on my stream signed you into a contract, and you guys owe me at least a soul or 2. It doesn't have to be yours, but you know, too bad. Should have read the fine print. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be I don't know what kind of store this is. It's a crumbled wall that's shared with 10. That's how they get into this. Blam, you've been horny. Yeah, you horny son of a gun. You thought you'd get away with it. That's not the one I need. We might need that one, but we don't need that one right now. Yeah, so there's a shared wall there. We can have I remember we made this one barred so that they would have to go in there. We made this one barred, this door barred, so that way it sings to you. Haha, funny pun. Punny fun. It still works. It's like punny. It's fun, but in a punny sense. It's punny fun. Funny pun. Funny puns are punny fun. Yeah, okay. We'll just make the door unlocked and they can go in there, but there's a bunch of babies there. And okay, yeah, here's what I was thinking. Dang it, wrong tab again. There we go. All right. Looking at the front of this shop, you see a very large grouping of rhinos. 6 babies, frolic. There it is. I knew it was only going to be one of those. Okay, 6 babies frolic in and around the legs of 2 very tired and beleaguered. How do you spell beleaguered? I was close. Very tired and beleaguered looking adult rhinos. You suspect they haven't slept in many days. There we go. That's yeah. We'll go ahead and pretend that it's a family of sextuplet rhinos, and the parents are of the mindset of I love my children, but you can tell that they're like, but sometimes they don't. They love the children, but they don't love having the children, right? There's two those are two different things. It's a very subtle difference, but I feel like it's true for a lot of people sometimes. It's like I love my children, but right now I don't love having my children. Two very strong and honestly in some ways compatible emotions. Like I guarantee I remember what I was like as a teenager. I guarantee there were times when my parents, they still loved me, but they did not love having me around. I can guarantee it. I guarantee it. 100%. 100%. I love my cat just about any time except for 4 a.m. on a weekend when she doesn't understand that it's a weekend and wonders why her bowl is still empty. That's the only time I don't love my cat. I didn't tell this story on stream. I had a dream the other night. So it was over this past weekend. I was sleeping and my cat, it was the weekend, and so my cat, true to form, bothered me to try and wake me up, and I shooed her off and fell back asleep again. But when I fell back asleep, I had this dream. And I didn't do anything in the dream. Like I didn't do anything particularly mean or immoral or wrong. But in the dream, I got up out of bed. It was one of those dreams that mimics real life, and then you wake up and you're like, wait, did that happen or not? It was kind of like that. It was one of those dreams. But in the dream, I woke up and I stomped down the hallway and I fed my cat and I said, there's your damn food, and then stomped away. And I was just like super mad at my cat. And so then when I woke up again, I felt so bad because I was like, it's not her fault. I'm not that mad about it. I'm just mildly grumpy. And so I was like super kind. I gave her extra food because I felt that post mean dream guilt. You ever get that? Does anyone else ever get that? I totally get that sometimes. Like if I have a dream where I'm really mad at someone for no reason, then I wake up and realize it. I'm like, because like some people, I feel like some people when they wake up from being like mad at someone in a dream, that carries over and they're mad at them the rest of the day. Like some people, that's how their emotions work. For me, it's like when I wake up and I was mad at someone in a dream, but I didn't have a reason for it, I feel super guilty about it all day long. So yeah, she did get extra nibbles. She was very happy about it. She was very happy. Not happy enough to learn that maybe good things will come if she sleeps in later on weekends, but that was my fun adventure this past weekend. I usually have typically my dreams are extremely weird, but also typically I don't remember the details of my dream, just the general essence of them, which is what kind of just makes them even more weird. But every once in a while I'll remember a dream. Usually and this is actually true for most people, if you wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, if you just wake up in the morning and then immediately go back to sleep for another hour, if you enter another REM cycle, usually people will remember that last hour of dreaming. So I'll remember those ones, and they're always wacko. They're always real wacko. It's fun stuff. Real fun stuff. But yeah, I don't typically get too mad at people, but sometimes dream emotions just take over, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sleep most nights, like every detail. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, dreams are weird. Dreams are weird. It's really weird how some people like can remember all of them. The one thing I'm super envious of are people who like can lucid dream and can control their dreams. Like, oh man, if I could do that, I would do so many fascinating things. I would do so many amazing things in my dreams if I could control them. But my dreams, my subconscious is out of control. It's out of control. I cannot control my dreams. It's active, but it is out of control. All right, anyway here. You suspect they haven't slept in many days. And then we'll go ahead and do a DM note here. So there's gonna be lore in this one, so we gotta find another like reason for there to be lore. Let me see here. Gosh, yeah, being able to lucid dream would be so rad. Oh my gosh, I would do so many cool things. I would do so many cool things. One day. I used to actually actively try to learn lucid dreaming, and I had gotten to the point where I could remember my dreams a lot more, and I would even get to the point where a lot of times in my dreams I would recognize that I was dreaming, but usually my brain, once I realized I was dreaming, would then wake up. Like I would be like, oh, I'm dreaming right now, And then I would wake up and be like, no, come back, dream. We're so close. C'est la vie. And then I just got busy with other things and stopped trying. Dream journaling for me was one of the big ones that helped. Waking up and like the first thing that I would do was write down what I did remember in my dream. That was like one of the most beneficial things towards trying to eventually lucid dream. That's what made me start being able to remember some of my dreams for a little while there. And then I just stopped because I didn't want to anymore. It was more work than it was worth to me. So, okay, so I need to come up with a shop for this one. Okay, it's right next to a tea shop. I feel like it would be kind of cool if this was like a little candy shop, right? Like maybe it's a little candy shop that look at the little dots chasing the mouse. Look at it. It's chasing it, but it can't catch it. It caught it. I feel like doing a little candy shop or something would be fun, like a tea shop with a candy shop right next to it. I feel like that'd be fun. You can tell that I'm fixated on food. There's a candy shop in town that I've been wanting to go to so bad lately. It's my favorite candy shop around. I want to go so bad, but I can't. I have to be good one more week. I want to go there though, because it's like one of them candy shops that like does actually like it costs a lot of extra, but it's worth it because they get all the really cool candies that you can't find at the grocery store aisle. Oh my gosh, they've got so many fun candies. Like all kinds of candies from my childhood that they don't really make in abundance anymore, but like there's still enough of a specialty market at like these types of shops that I can get. Oh, it's so great. Like you can find Nerds ropes there and stuff like that. They've got this huge wall that's just taffy, and that's pretty rad. And they got like 8 million flavors of Kit Kats. Oh my god, I want to go there so bad. Let's put a candy shop here. Let's put a candy shop and just imagine that it's real life and that I was happy again. That's not true. That's overly pessimistic. That's it. I have an idea how to describe this. Once players make it in, and we'll just do the door. We'll say the door is closed, but the locks have rusted out. And it was never barred shut, so players can just walk in. Because I have an idea of what could make this a really fun. Like, I like to sometimes with these types of rooms just kind of make a fun little reprieve. I mean, it's not as necessary in this one because this isn't a particularly dark portion of this campaign. Like, a lot of this campaign is really dark and creepy and eerie and horror based. But this one section is meant to be more sunny, and it's like, yeah, there's dangerous monsters and stuff, but it's more like fun. It's more zany safari type of danger than it, you know, zany safari, Jurassic Park type of danger, not like, you know, paranormal H.P. Lovecraft, your soul has been sold without your consent type of danger. So it's not as necessary to do some levity, but it's still fun to add that in there. And I have an idea for how we can do that with this. What we'll say is, as you open the door to this shop, an old rusty bell lets out a soft jingle above your head. Looking in from the doorway as sunlight, oh, we're gonna get real poetic with it this time. Looking as sunlight spills in through the threshold, you feel as though you've stepped into a preserved piece of history. Well-stocked shelves of candy of all sorts fill this tiny shop. Though dust covers everything, you can still see the bright yellows, reds, blues, and everything in between of the sweets that were left untouched. It appears the owner of this shop never intended, got a space there, never intended to be away for centuries and left everything exactly where it belongs. One jar of especially enticing candy is actually a mimic. Oh yeah, that would be that, and it's there intentionally. It's there intentionally. He did that. He did that as a way to teach would-be thieves a lesson, right? So it's like there's this one jar of candy that really calls to everyone, and it's like tucked in the back corner, so it'd be so easy to just like pilfer one. But then if you try it, you lose a finger. You lose a finger, and there were many children's fingers inside of it. But the mimic magics the fingers to look like licorice or something, and it's like, no, we're not going horror. We're not going horror. That's getting too descriptive with it. I do like the idea though. I do like that idea. That is a fun idea. I kind of do want to incorporate it here. I kind of do want to incorporate it. Yeah, okay, I have an idea. I have an idea on how to incorporate that. I really like that idea. I'm not gonna make it quite as gruesome. I'm not gonna make it quite so gruesome. We're gonna make it like it's gonna be a mimic, but we're gonna just pretend like there's this special like a special intentionally grown breed of mimics that like don't have like razor sharp teeth and are generally pretty docile unless you like try to touch them. And so it's just like, snap. It's kind of like getting bit by a garter snake, right? Where it's like, there's not really teeth or anything. Like, it's still startling and it's not fun, but it's not like it's going to like take your finger off or maybe even break the skin. And it just like does that, and it like causes people to scream, and like the shopkeeper knows what's going on. I kind of want something like that to be there. As amusing as it would be to create a scene where children are losing hands. It's a little twisted. I'm gonna do something here. Actually, here's what we'll do. We're gonna put it in the rewards here. So we're first going to, of course, do. So we gotta, underline that. We're gonna do our lore here, and there is going to be some actual lore, but we're also going to do, bonus, bonus lore. Or we'll just say bonus content. If any player decides to look around and see what sorts of tasty candy are here, have them roll 1d20. If it is a 1, they will come across the mimic jar. It appears full of the most delicious looking candy they have ever seen. But when they try to touch the jar, it comes to life and snaps at them. They lose. Here's what we'll do. They lose 1 HP, and their fingers. Their fingers have mild bite marks on them for a couple days. There we go. Innocent enough. Innocent enough, but still like substantial, and that would be enough. Like to a commoner that has an average of what, 4 HP, right? Then like, yeah. There we go. I think it's great. What is this? Oh, that's something for next week in work that I don't need to worry about today. If I can kick it down the road, it's a good day. Why do today what you can put off until tomorrow? But what is today but yesterday's tomorrow? Anyone else recognize that quote? I remember that one. That's a SpongeBob quote. Go me. I did it. All right, so we'll just add that little bonus content there. As far as the lore goes for this one, I kind of... oh, you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do here for the lore? Sitting on the desk of the... sitting on the checkout counter of the shop is a dusty note written on paper that is brittle enough to disintegrate it. Into just too many eyes. I got a little eye happy there. Is brittle enough to disintegrate if handled too roughly. On the paper is a short note that reads, boom. And it's, I'm gonna make this a note from the shopkeepers to Sis, the wizard that's like protecting the town, and it's going to just basically say something along the lines of, "Thank you for protecting this town. You're a savior to us all," or something along those lines. Please, while we're away, until it's safe for us to return, I've left the candy shop easily accessible. Consider anything on the shelves yours should you take it, or should you want it. And like I kind of also want to add like a little snippet that maybe there's like 2 spots that are completely empty, you know, like because there were like 2 candies that he really liked but then didn't care about the rest of them. So it's like maybe maybe there's like this type of like this a shelf that would have had dark chocolates, and maybe one of them that would have had caramels, and like those are all gone, and like that's what he liked, just to add a little bit of lore and some background to Sis as a character for our players to think about and mull over. A little less dramatic than some of the other lore, but I actually really like the flavor of that. You know, it helps the NPC feel a bit more real. And that's the type of thing that gives that can really get players attached. So when I inevitably kill the NPC, it really wrenches their heart. No, I'm not intending to do that with Sis, but hey, you know, it still stands to reason if we get them attached to people, it makes it that much more compelling when they're gone in some way, shape, or form. So we'll say, we cannot thank you enough for looking after the town while the rest of us go to safety. You are so brave, and it is appreciated to no end. We've left the shop as is and easy to access. Please enjoy whatever you like from the shelves. Consider it our meager payment for all the work you're doing for us. Boom, there we go. And then we'll just add one little thing too. As you look around the shop, it appears that this is not the type to go in for candy often. However, there are 2 shelves that are completely empty. We'll say dark I don't know. We'll just say dark chocolates. Derek. Drac? Oh gosh dang it. Okay, fine. Dark chocolates. Oops. Dark chocolates and we'll say caramel coffees. Boom, there we go. There we go. Oh, hey, man, I get it. I get it. Sleep is a necessary thing. Sleep is a necessary thing. You go rest up. You go rest up. And I'm sure the chaotic shouting of me being terrible at Halo will be an excellent alarm clock for you when the time comes. No, I appreciate you stopping by. And may the dulcet tones of my voice lull you into a wonderful slumber of lucid dreams that you remember every wonderful detail of. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I like this little bit of like this innocent bit of lore. I feel like it's so easy to get caught up always doing like big dramatic bits of lore in these types of things. I know I guess I should say I know I can get hung up in doing the big dramatic stuff. So it's kind of nice to just offer these types of like levity and simplicity in the stuff that I'm writing and making for players. I think it kind of adds a nice little break from the heaviness that tends to come with long drawn out campaigns, right? Because that's just kind of the nature of how a campaign goes. You know, it's you can certainly make campaigns that are much more Monster Hunter in style, and I've run campaigns like that, and they are great fun. But a lot of times when you have a consistent player group, it really does turn into like really heavy-handed drama, because you know you want to give them a theme, and they kind of develop rapport with different NPCs, and then they end up having sort of a consistent enemy that things continue to escalate and escalate and escalate until it comes to some big earth-shattering, groundbreaking final event, right? Like that's just what happens. It's what makes a story compelling and what keeps people coming back. So I think it's nice to occasionally just add in simple things where it's like, no, this doesn't really advance the plot per se, but it's a nice little detail so you can enjoy the world without everything having to be a plot detail. I think it's a nice way to change it up. So yeah, I'm good with that. No, I don't need to look at the weather now. Thank you. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, Windows? I don't need to see. I didn't even click anything. Windows is like, no, you need to see the weather right now. No, Windows, I don't need to. No, you need to see this. Maybe there was an ad in there that I ignored, and Windows was like, no, it's time for a commercial break. Time for a commercial break. You know that's going to happen with these. In order to use things you purchase, you still have to sit through commercial breaks. It practically happens already. Pay for a subscription in something, and unless you pay more of a subscription, you have to sit through commercials, even though you pay for the service. For shame. For shame. Anyway, let's go ahead and fill this room and make it look like a candy shop. Naturally, we're just going to do lots of bookshelves and stuff. There we go. Here's bookshelves. We'll do bookshelves that kind of fill things up and make it look like a nice little shop. I think what I'm gonna I have an idea. I have an idea of how I want to do this. We are going to do this. This wall is kind of busted up, and so we'll go ahead and just put. Actually, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have this shelf that was against there just kind of be like bumped right there, so it's like they have to do a little bit of moving to try and get things around and out the way, and we'll have this one be like bumped a little out the way too or something. Like I'm just trying to like set this up to kind of look like something happened that caused that wall to get knocked out of the way. It's hard to say what. Doesn't really matter what. Let's see if we put that right there. We do it like that, and then maybe what we can do is actually, well, here we go. Go ahead and put another shelf right here. Make it up. There we go. Put a shelf right there, and then I think what I'd like to do, take this table right here. Have this table serve as like, maybe what we can do is it's like this table gets kind of knocked out the way a little bit there, and like that's where the register would have been, quote unquote. And so that's the candy shop, and then we can take like these things, right, and just kind of show some candy littered around in a few places, you know, and like maybe there would have been candy sitting on the table there. Do kind of like that, and then we'll just grab this And there's our note. There's our note that was left there, right? So it fits the description that we're providing. That's really all we need for a little shop like this. I guess we'll put a chandelier in here. Put a candelier. Let's get some light. Bloop. There we go. Perfect. A candy shop. It's a little sad looking, but like I think the description still fits though, because like from this angle when you first look in, it's gonna look like it's a normal candy shop, and then as you go and look around, you can kind of see the busted out wall. And in fact, maybe I should add a little description in there. Maybe I should change it a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. As you open the door to the shop, an old rusty bell. It's out. Soft jingle. Please, where it belongs. Actually, there was another thing I wanted to add to this to expand upon this description a little bit too. That I think will be kind of a fun little bit of flavor. Walking through the store, you see in the back corner that one of the walls to the neighboring shop has crumbled, pushing some of the shelves to the side and spilling some candy around. Most of the candy is rock solid, having gone stale centuries ago. However, some of the hard candies remain delightful as being rock solid was the intent all along. There's a fun little description. Funny how like this gets a much longer description than most of the other rooms, even though there's nothing of too much value in here. But like I say, I don't know. I think there's gameplay value to something like this, right? Like it's easy to want to cut corners on these types of shops, but I oftentimes find that these shops are some of the most important ones to not cut corners on, because like if you just offer a quick description of a really story critical location or room, in those situations, like it's fine because just the role playing and the gravity of the situation will kind of carry it. But if you cut corners on these side things, it just kind of makes a world feel empty. Whereas if you offer up these descriptions, it can really fill out the world and make it seem a lot more lived in than most other than maybe it would otherwise. So I find that this stuff is actually really important to flesh out, which is why I'm always willing to take the time to do it. Even though it certainly does add a lot of time to the writing process to do it this way. It's a worthwhile investment, I guess is what I'm saying. And so that's perfect. That's perfect. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I think we got time. Yeah, we got time. Let's get one more in. Get one more in here. So this is kind of a bigger shop. Number 12, medium battle. Door is busted. So I have a bit of an idea on how I want to do this. I have a thought. Go ahead and do it. I have a thought. So this one, I'm wondering if it would be kind of fun to change the program a little bit, because this one does have a battle in it. I'm wondering if it would be kind of fun to change the program a little bit and have this room, have this be because we have it predetermined that the door is busted out here. And so my thought is it might be kind of fun to have most of this wall busted out and have it be kind of an open area, and then as players are walking around, maybe as they're looking through here, maybe there this time are some rhinos that are hanging out inside, just enjoying the shade or something like that, being inside the building. Just to mix it up, right? Because we don't want to get too predictable. So I think that would actually work pretty well. So let's go ahead and battle. What is that? 350 experience? Yeah. 350 experience points. I'm going to do 3 of these guys. 3 of the giant goat versions of the rhinos. Oops. I want this on blind though. We'll do 3 of those, and then we'll just do 1 of these smaller versions of like the adult, the cow version. We'll just do 1 of those, and that'll get us our 350. There's only 4 that have to fit in that area, so that would be okay. I don't need to do the 1, but that way I make sure I remember that there's supposed to be 1 as opposed to me forgetting 1, or forgetting how many there are supposed to be. So we'll do that, and we'll say the front of this shop long since folded and crumbled away from the rest of the building. Based on what debris can be seen here, this must have once been a clothing shop. Yeah, this is perfect. Of some sort. Various cottons, wools, and other fabrics. Fabrics lay scattered about in the rubble. Yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, it seems that the soft nature of all of these clothes has attracted some of the rhinos. You can see a few of them inside, lounging on various piles of shirts, dresses, and trousers, enjoying an afternoon nap in the shade of the roof, which miraculously remains supported despite the loss of the front wall. Boom, there we go. I think that's a good description. That gives our players something to do there. This one's worth money. Great, cool. Okay, this is actually going to be fun. We'll say, if players search through the rubble, DC, we'll make it a 14. I want it to be kind of difficult to find this because it's going to be among the rubble. Players search through the rubble, DC 14, to notice the chest with a busted latch lying among it. And so there's our DM note for them to find things. As you sift through this wreckage, you notice a small chest. The lock is broken and it opens easily, revealing what must have once been a family's, I don't want to say families because it's not a house, been a savings stash. We'll just say various coins and gems. Various coins and gems fill the small space. We'll say fill the small container. You suspect that there was once a shopkeeper in Fosvik to the north, who was supremely disappointed to realize that this got left behind. Just offer that little bit there. Maybe the person actually would have been upset, maybe not. Hard to say for sure. Hard to know. You know, but that's the type of speculation we can give to our players. Plus, that's the type of speculation that could 100% lead to an impromptu side quest, right? If players decide like, oh, you know what? This would be kind of fun to see if we could track down the person that did it. And then you could just kind of improv. You could just kind of improv and say like, yeah, search, like, look through the thing. Oh, you find etched on and on the inside flap of, inside of the lid of the chest that says, if found, return to. And then you can go on and find their ancestors and give them a little bit or something like that. I don't know. You can do that if you so choose. And if your players take things in that direction, it'd be fun. Let's go ahead and just do our loot gen here. Loot gen is a great tool. Always recommended if you're just trying to find a quick way to get some players some loot, because it has pre-programmed in there all of the tables from the Dungeons Master's Guide, so that it'll just randomly roll the loot for you. So you don't have to go through and roll loot on like 5 different tables or whatever. You can just do it and it's good to go. The one thing that I always like to check is I set my the CR, you know, the challenge rating for like I set the treasures that players find based on whatever challenge rating the boss of that floor was. So that way the whole floor is worth kind of what the challenge, like the money found in the floor is worth the challenge of the floor. Because like if I did you know, it doesn't really change anything since it does it by range, so it doesn't always change a whole lot. But that way it's not like players are at, you know, going at the 0 to 4 level for like all of their treasure hoards, until suddenly they get to a point where they find one that it explodes and there's like so much more, because they've just reached a higher point that can do that. Instead, I do it bit by bit. So like as a dungeon ramps up, the treasures will get bigger and more exciting for them. You know, it's the same concept as the difficulty of the enemies, where it's like the difficulty increases and the battles get more intense. The rewards kind of follow suit, is what I like to do. So how would I adjust hordes mechanically for low fantasy or high fantasy? Ooh, that's hard to say. I mean, I guess what my instinct would be to start with, like, if we're talking about just adjusting it based on theme rather than changing rule set, I guess what I would do is I would just start with the rules as written as a baseline, and then I would modify it as needed based on what I'm trying to achieve with the setting, right? Because I even do that just using it as you know, the rules as written approach. Even then, I'll still modify things. Like if it doesn't make sense for there to be art pieces in a location, I'll avoid putting too many of those in there, right? Unless the art is like, you know, a silver locket or something like that. I already kind of do that, and I guess that's the best answer I can give. It's hard to say. I don't know necessarily that what I would do to change things beyond start with a baseline and then modify as needed. And that kind of fits with what I do for all of my stuff, right? Like how do I come up with monsters that like how do I come up with customized monsters to fit the setting even if nothing in rules is written is there? I start with an existing stat block that kind of achieves the type of monster, creature, or fight style that I'm looking for, and then I just reskin it. I modify it as need be, right? If I need it to be a bit simpler, I might take away multi-attack or increase HP if I need it harder, right? So it's like, I guess my generalized principle of approaching things in general would stand, and that I would just modify. So like here, I'm gonna kind of modify it a little bit because I'm describing this as being like you know, like the profit savings of a shop or something like that. I'm not gonna bother putting in these magic items because I also don't. I feel like these magic items really increase the value of it beyond what I'm initially intending to do, which is just a small little stash. So we're gonna go ahead and just do our 216 gold pieces, and we'll throw in the gems because we described those being there, and then we'll leave it as is, right? So it's just like, it just comes down to, for me, modifying as needed to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And that's you know, kind of a monotonous tone that I give all the time, or a monotonous answer that I give all the time, where it's just like, it depends. But you know, it's the truest answer there is. It kind of depends. And yeah, I would just start with something that exists and modify it as I think is necessary. That's usually the easiest way to do. Yeah, right. Yeah, the magic items can get kind of they can get kind of wonky and generous too with the challenge rating, with the low challenge ratings. It's kind of funny how that happens, and so that's one of the reasons why it's like a lot of times the magic items that I'll offer up are a few of the potions and not anything else. Because yeah, I agree that they tend to be a little you know, I mean, that's just how the system works. But yeah. 216 E, and then let's say what was it? It was like 8 gems worth 50 apiece. Is that what it was? Yep, 8 gems, 50 apiece, 400 gold total. So X 50 GP gems, 200 GP total. Oh wait, no, 400 GP total. My bad. I can math. I know how to math. I can do it. I just don't do it a lot. Not even true. My job requires a certain degree of math. And then I am going to use these. We'll just copy and paste a little bit here, and I'll just change it to the format that I prefer. Copy that here, paste it, get rid of these things. Yeah, the gems are definitely something that's not necessary to itemize. I know that my players don't really care about itemized gems and everything, but I still prepare it that way in case I ever end up with a group that does care about it. Because the other thing is my group doesn't really care about it, but I'll modify that and say they don't really care about it right now. They've been getting more and more into the concept of like detailed play and paying attention to things like ammo and crafting supplies and stuff like that. So I still always like to have these things ready to go for if a group wants or needs it. But it's certainly not necessary to always itemize the gems, depending on what your party likes to do. But I like doing it because I lean more towards the detail-oriented style of campaign or D&D play and writing. I like taking the time to kind of get in the weeds of that stuff. To me, that's just what makes it kind of fun as opposed to playing a video game. Like in video games, you can just kind of like blitz through, pick up the stuff, and then use it as necessary. To me, the role-playing game, the fun is sort of slowing down and sort of imagining things, you know, sort of like one day at a time, so to speak, with your characters. I think that's fun to let things be a bit closer to real time, which includes like taking the time to sift through gems and think about what you might do with this, that, or the other gem, stuff like that. But that's just my personal taste. That's my personal preference on how I like my games to operate. But yeah, there we go. So there's all the stuff there. Yeah, and so if this is going to be just a clothing shop, so this should be pretty easy to modify. We're going to have to get a little funky because this whole section here is one big exterior room, and if we try to change the walls, it's going to mess up the whole building. So instead, what I'm going to do for this one is we are going to go, going to grab this. I'm going to get rid of that one, and we're going to get rid of that one. And what we're going to do is go to our portal tool, and we're just going to use our open portal. We'll go ahead and snap it to grid, and we're just going to open it up a whole lot here and just pretend like that's an entirely busted out wall. And then we'll go into our object tool here, and we'll just start scattering a bunch of the rubble and debris and everything around. Right, we can do, okay, hold on, I want to unsnap now. Right, we can do stuff like this. Right, do some of the big macro stuff over top. Right, so you do kind of like that. So there's a bunch of rubble, and then we'll spread things out a little bit here. Like a couple busted tables from how that came to be. And then we can grab like this stuff here, right? And this will really give it a good feeling of there just kind of being a whole bunch of rubble and debris everywhere. Right, you just kind of do that. Guys, the fact that I didn't rotate them at all there and use the same asset over and over again. But yeah, if we do stuff like that, that gets the point across there pretty well. And then we can, as per usual, something right there. Let's put something right here. And then, I don't know. I feel like actually there wouldn't be much shelving, as much shelving as there would be just like tables with stuff like folded on it, you know, like a department store almost. We can put like a table there. Do maybe here like this. Right, maybe just to mix it up, we do table this way. And then maybe what we do is like this table is intact, but then we do like a busted table right there. Right? We can do that. And then what we can do is go over here and let's go to... I thought there was a thing of clothing. Maybe if we just choose clutter. Yeah, here's some clothing items anyway. So we'll just kind of scatter some clothing items around. Right, just some various linens and everything. That way if they look closely, they can see that there's like garments and everything. And maybe we'll just kind of put a few like that down on there. Do that right there. I wish there were more variety of clothing there. But that's... what if we could change the color of these? Nope, it won't change the color. That's a disappointment. That's a disappointment. Really hoping we could change the color of some of these clothing items. Oh, we can put like a fun little pirate hat there. If someone wants to pilfer a pirate hat, they can do that. And then, like, that almost looks more like a piece. Let me try doing cloth. Let's do cloth, like, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that'll do. That gives us a few options. Just kind of do things like that. I like these weird, goofy trousers or something like that. Almost like stack them up like it's a stack of clothing. Maybe there's another goofy hat around. Things kind of like that. Stuff like that. Maybe a few things like that. And some of these. And some of these. And some of these. There's just blue shirts. This store only sells blue shirts. You don't need another color shirt. You only need a blue shirt. So we'll just do it kind of like that, and then we'll just have the rhinos kind of posted up around and pretend like there's more rubble and stuff there. It's a little skimpy, but with just the limited resources, I don't think putting in more stuff will necessarily make it look better. I think that's kind of the max of what we're going to achieve in terms of what we're going for here. And I'm going to give this one, just because it's a bigger shop, we're going to give this one like 2 chandeliers here. A light to them, we can go like that. Like that. There we go. There. Good enough. Good enough. It's, like I say, it's kind of skimpy. But I'm okay with it. Oh, excuse me. I'm okay with it. I think that works out just fine. I think that works just fine. So, perfect. Great. There we go. That's 2 rooms done. That's 2 rooms done. 2 rooms done. And it is a little early compared to what I normally do. Normally, I would go until 1:30. But I have a meeting this afternoon. So, I am going to use this opportunity, having just finished up this room, to go ahead and take my break just a little bit early, so that way we can start doing some gaming a little early. So let me switch us over here for just the sake of the VODs and everything. So thank you to everyone who stopped by. I had a good time writing and talking about cool conversation to open up today too. That was really fun. I have a blast doing this, and I feel very lucky. I've got a pretty cool audience that has cool things to say. So I like hearing it from you guys. So yeah, this was a good start to the day. I'm not done. I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna take a break. I'll keep it a bit shorter because we have less time today. I'm gonna take a break, and when I come back, we're gonna continue our run through of all of the Halo campaigns. We're on Halo 3 right now, making some good progress through that one. So if you want to sit around and watch me die to a bunch of grunts because I'm really bad at FPS games, then by all means, hang out and we got good stuff. If you're pretty much just here for the writing, I totally understand. They're very different streams, and I totally understand that. If you want to see more of me, typically speaking, my schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone is when I start my writing, and then 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone is usually when we switch to gaming. Like I say, today's a little different. This week actually is going to be a little different too. Normally I would stream on Thursday. It's looking like this Thursday I will not be able to stream because I've got, something big happening this weekend, and then next week for work things are going to be weird. Because of that, I have a lot of meetings happening this week, and so I will be pretty busy on Thursday with work. So I'm not going to be able to stream this Thursday, most likely. Never say never, but it's looking. Outlook is bleak on me streaming Thursday. But I should be back Friday, so we can do some streaming. You can help me relax the day before my fight. It'll be a good time to be here. And then also, I'll just go ahead and say, because there's going to be one less day for me to say it if I'm not streaming on Thursday. Next week is also going to be light on streaming. I do not know. I honestly don't even know if I'll be able to stream at all next week. I intend to stream at least Monday, Tuesday next week, but I have a conference for work next week that I'll be out of town for a couple days later in the week, which means earlier in the week I might be very busy having to kind of make up and handle things. So the rest of this week and next week are going to be wonky. If you want updates about it, you can get you can, more live up to the minute updates about whether I'm streaming at any given time or not. You can always get yourself hooked up with the Discord. I put announcements there about when I'm going live and all that kind of stuff. It's a good place too if you just like chatting D&D and all that kind of stuff. Find me there. Same thing, I do have a Twitter, Envira Streams. I put announcements when I'm going live there, so if you want to get a bit more up-to-the-minute information about when I'm going live and all that kind of stuff, those are good places to follow. The other social you can find me on is EnviraBoy Streams on Instagram. I put a lot of clips about some of the other stuff I get up to, and there's a very good chance that I will be putting clips of my fight on there as well, especially if I just get absolutely clobbered in the fight. I will 100% be the first person to put videos up there because I think that would be hilarious. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. I do not take myself seriously in any way, shape, or form, so I would have a lot of fun putting that up there. So if you want to see how that all pans out, Instagram will be a good place. I'll probably also honestly put a full clip of the fight, assuming that I can get someone to videotape it. I don't know. If no one videotapes it, then it's gone to the gone to history. But I would probably, if it's there, I'll probably also put it on my YouTube channel, EnviraBoy on YouTube, just to have it be there alongside randomly all of my VODs. But and that's a good note too. Next week, streaming will be weird next week. If you want to catch more of my stuff, even if I'm not going live though, you can always check out the VODs on my YouTube channel. Just go back, look at some of the backlog of the different games I've played, the different stuff I've written. It's a good place to get a little taste of EnviraBoy. That came out weird. I don't want to say it that way. I don't like thinking about people getting a taste of me. That's just, there's a lot of wide-ranging implications with that one that I'm just not comfortable with any of them. So, but if you want to get a little I don't know, if you want to watch a little bit of my stuff when I'm not live, you can always check me out there. But so that's all the places you can find me. Again, thank you so much to everyone who stopped by. If you want to watch me be terrible at Halo, stick around a little bit. I'll leave you here with a little bit of music while I get things switched over and all of that, and then we can do some Halo. Or otherwise, I will hopefully catch you on maybe on Thursday, more likely on Friday this week, and we'll have a good time then. But either way, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll be back shortly. I'll catch you cats on the flip side.